The first time I ever had a weed edible, I thought I was never going to touch weed ever again. I was on tour with Ralphie May, and we were doing his tour bus up and down the West Coast.
Yeah.
And had never had weed before, and he would do it all day, every day. So I was like, well, a little bit wouldn't hurt me. And he was taking Chiba Chews, fucking heavy edibles.
That's an edible.
Yes. So he was like, just take one of these. Took one. We're in like Sacramento, I think. And 45 minutes goes by. My entire body is fucking numb.
Yeah.
And he's like, you okay, Maddie? I'm like, dude, I'm fucking freaking out. And I was like, how much was that? It was like 100 milligrams. I know now you only need 10 to like feel good.
You only need 5 if we're going to be real.
But he was doing like 4 or 5 of them at a time. Granted, his size,
He's 600 pounds.
Yeah.
So wait, get me from Atlanta to Ralphie.
So oddly enough,
don't leave any steps out, but get me from Atlanta to Ralphie.
Oddly enough, Ralphie was before Atlanta. Ralphie was the first person I was ever supposed to do a guest spot for at Hilarities in Cleveland. I had been doing stand-up for like 4 months, and this was a time when Twitter was like...
Fucking great club. Great club.
Love that club. I ended up playing...
Nick is the fucking best.
The coolest
guy. That is one
guy.
of the greatest clubs in all of this country.
The crowds are always good. I don't think I've ever had a bad show at Hilarities.
I don't know what you're doing if you're in Cleveland right now. I don't care who's performing there this weekend. Go see a show at Hilarities. Whoever's there is going to be amazing, and
Absolutely.
you'll have a great experience.
Food's fantastic.
Yeah.
The strip there is great to do stuff before and after.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
I was in stand-up for like 4 or 5 months, and this is when Twitter was like pretty new. Like everyone, you could get a hold of anybody. So I would just I tweeted to Ralphie, and I was like, hey, I see you're going to be in Cleveland on this date or whatever. Can I do a guest spot for you? I heard that's like the thing to do.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done a guest spot for anybody yet. And he was like, yeah, sure, come through. But I was so young. I think I was still 15 at the time. And my mom was obviously new to it as well. And she was the one who was going to take me up there. And I remember it was like 2 months out. And over the course of like the following month, she just kept making me ask him questions. Like, what time do I need to be there? Do my parents need to get tickets? Where are they going to be sitting? Like, I was just bombarding him with questions.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, man, I think it's a bit too much. Maybe we try this another time down the road. I was fucking devastated. I ran to my room, slammed my door. I was like, you ruined it for me. Ralphie May hates me.
Yeah.
Fast forward to maybe a year goes by. I'm 16. He's doing a theater in Youngstown, Ohio. My grandparents live up there. So I was like, hey, can we try it this time? Never performed at a theater before. I get there. He pulls up in the bus. My mom's there with me. And theater, I think, held like 750, something like that. Smaller theater, but theater nonetheless. And before I go on stage, he hands me $100 bill. And I was like, oh, no. Like, I don't want to pay. I'm just happy
He's
to
like, no,
meet
go
you.
get me Coke.
Yeah. Like, that's going to make him skinny.
As soon as I said Coke, I was like, why would I say Coke? I should have said chicken tenders. Run up to McDonald's, and I don't want a penny of this
quick.
back.
I'll be off in 2 hours. Be back with the sauce.
I want to take this to Taco Bell and tell them to fucking surprise me.
He hands me $100 bill. I'm like, no, I'm like just so thankful for the spot and to meet you, whatever. And he goes, no, Sam Kinison gave me $100 bill for my first guest spot ever. So I wanted to return the favor. I want to make sure you do the same thing when you're older in a position to do the same for somebody else.
Sadly, when you do that to someone, they're going to go, who the fuck's Sam Kinison?
Yeah, exactly. Even I had to Google, if I'm being honest. I had to Google. I was like, oh, yeah, he's the best.
Oh, I love Sam Kinison.
He's the funniest. He's such a nice guy. Calm. I love his calm demeanor. So go off stage, do like 7 minutes. It was so much fun. He fucking crushes, obviously. And then I think like 6 months later, no, maybe closer to a year later, I'm 17. I'm planning on moving out to LA. He's at I forget what other theater he was doing in Ohio, but he let me open for him again. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna move out to LA. And he was like, don't do that. He was like, don't go to LA until like they're asking for you. And I didn't wait. I did move out there, and then I booked Wild 'N Out like 6 months after moving there. And when I first moved to LA and I was like couch surfing, he used to take me to restaurants for lunch, and he'd make me order like 6 meals. And he was like, eat one now. The rest you can take home with you. So he would like buy me food for the week, basically.
I wish he wasn't dead, because I have so many. Like, I love it. Rob is like, in my visual, he's like, hey, we're both going to order 6 meals. So we have
yours is for later.
Yeah, you save yours for later, and that's what I'm going to tell her I'm doing with mine. Okay, just so it doesn't look weird.
He was the dude.
And then he's like, order 6 meals and save them later. And he's like, oh, what do we got over here? All right.
By the time we're done, I have like 3 meals left.
Yeah. And he ate
He's
the
like, I
one that I
fucking paid
ordered for
for it.
myself.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was the nicest. When I was still in Ohio around Christmas time, he used to let me drive down to Zany's in Nashville because he had a Nashville spot as well.
Yeah.
And he would always do shows there around Christmas time. He would let me drive down, open for him, get like the $100 from the club or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he would tip me like an extra $500-$600 so I could like buy my family Christmas presents and stuff like that. Just the nicest fucking guy, man.
He was the nicest guy. He was the nicest. I really miss him.